put these back. Damn.
Immediate. Grid Kilo 2-3 is hot. Recommend mission aboard. Roger, Recon. It's your call, Sergeant. We're going in. Get tactical, Marine! You heard the man, boys. It's time for some hazard pay. 30 seconds out. Stand by now.
Sir, O'Brien's down.
We lost our pilot, too. Grab their tags and ammo.
Sarge, we better get moving.
Agreed. We'll find better cover in those buildings. Butkus, you take point.
Sniper, third floor left.
Here, let me give him my welcome to Earth gift basket. Damn, where is he? Anybody see him? Take it, guys!
Fuck the bastard.
Second squad, this is Cortana. What is your status? Over.
We're operational, man. Barely. Our pilots didn't make it.
Find a hole, stay put. We'll come to you.
The end of Halo 2, we thought it would be a really cool idea if we got a lot of people involved with making some more multiplayer maps. Those people spend their time in the multiplayer maps, not in the single player ones. The importance of all the different things you can do is wildly changing.
It's easy to get the concept. I'm here to defend the space.
10 seconds, gravy.
So we split into 4 groups, fresh ideas,
Non-stop action. Bang, bang, bang.
I think game will lack them.
it's a lot of new eyes.
Definitely see stuff that you're like, how the hell did they do that?
I think you're exaggerating.
Swing.
Just like everybody else, we were getting a little bit tired of playing some of the same maps over and over, so it was a great opportunity to get more maps out there.
Double kill. Triple kill. Kill-tacular.
Containment is a big map.
It's definitely the biggest map in the downloadable content.
2 team capture the flag, 8 on 8.
This map is so big the Xbox can't even hold it.
We're visiting the quarantine zone. These zones were created by the Sentinels in order to prevent the flood from escaping further and infecting even more of the Halo structure. It was supposed to be just a straight-up conversion of Timberwind from Halo PC.
The bases are more intricate.
Because they're basically the Sidewinder bases.
And more interesting.
Change it even further.
More dynamic.
Just change it all together.
2 rocket launchers. There's also 2 sniper rifles. 2 Warthogs. A Banshee. And then outside of your wall is a tank. We tried to do some things that the other big maps didn't, incorporating the tank, hopefully effectively this time.
They sort of flesh out their ideas with Max or right shotgun over all of them, making sure that they're not getting too crazy.
We were going to have what we call boo bags. They would just be these clusters of these boogers all over the level that would explode and harm you. Max decided that they bounced too much, so he made them pretty static.
If they're going to make a change for artistic reasons, it's really helpful when they also can think in how this can affect actual gameplay.
Whenever you ask Cotton or Paul about it, they get pretty upset because they like them the way they were.
You wonder why this map took 3 months to make.
There wasn't really any precedent for bouncing testicles of death. I hate video games.
What?
Is a humid environment. In all our other maps, you can see the other player from a quarter mile away. Here you can't.
We knew we had to make a small, like 4-player Slayer style map. Are you kidding me right now? To use the Halo 1 swamp is this foggy arena.
Old and crusty Forerunner.
We're saying this is on the Delta Halo, and it's actually an area very similar to the place on the Alpha Halo where the Chief met Guilty Spark. In fact, we actually have the monitor of Delta Halo flying around the environment. We definitely were looking to encourage the short game, so you'd be more inclined to use weapons like shotguns and the sword. It's very easy to spawn and instantly see where everybody's fighting because you see plasma bolts in the fog and you know exactly where everybody is, so you just go charging over there. And Nathan's favorite tactic is to get up here on this little metal protrusion that he's just lobbing grenades down at people.
I'm kind of the resident creature. I kill everybody on my team, laughing at the top of my lungs.
Nathan's griefing is well balanced by his lack of skill.
Yeah, no one likes Nathan.
You know, this map will be a success if people like this Slayer it's simplest form.
When are you
There's
gonna
really
like
places where it's just
the
fun to
stories
find the high
about
spots,
when
gain elevation through jumping. And when you do that, you pull it off. I don't know, I feel like a Halo guy.
I have no
And we got glow bugs. It doesn't get any
one
better
more
than
gives any.
Terminal. It's a train terminal. Exists in New Mombasa. It's supposed to be Zanzibar Plus. What if we took Zanzibar to the next level? What would that map be? It's completely asymmetrical. There are 2 bases, but it's not a mirrored environment or an environment that is rotated so it's identical on both sides. The nature of it is it's imbalanced. So the attackers have a starting location and the defenders have a base, but they're not equal like which one is easier to defend or easier to attack.
The only real dynamic element is the train.
If you play too close to the tracks, you'll die. Most of our Halo 2 maps play in single flag CTF. The vehicles are fun, but they're not a key component of how you win or lose that. And we wanted to make a vehicle encounter significant. You cannot ignore the Wraith. The Wraith is a big deal. You need to take out the Wraith if you're an attacker. If you're a defender, you want to preserve the Wraith.
Everything that we're thinking about is balance. We put a lot of thought into making sure that a guy on foot can destroy that vehicle.
no rocket launcher.
No rocket launcher.
No rocket launcher.
It's a big design issue.
I think they've actually softened on that position a little bit. There's now a rocket on the terminal.
Okay, people who are good with the Wraith, we've added the rocket launcher back in the terminal, which we didn't want to do in the first place. We tried to specifically design this map so we didn't have to use the rocket launcher, but now because people have gotten so good with the Wraith, the rocket launcher's back in there. It's pretty rare that you'll get people just sitting in a spot and being cowardly
hate cowards.
7, death.
This is a remake of Longest, one of the maps in Halo 1. It's supposed to be this dirty cargo freighter. 2 parallel hallways with bases at either corner.
So what I found is
You can see Earth. You can see the moon.
you know
I thought about it. I really hated about Longest that I wanted to fix. The ladders really destroy the realism.
I've never seen a ladder at like.
You have this vertical motion, but you don't see your hands doing that. When we got rid of all the ladders, everybody hated ladders.
The really nice thing about this map is that there's total mobility.
It's a fairly simple map, so that it's easy to navigate, easy to understand.
One of the ways that you can get to the second floor from the ground floor is to take advantage of these boxes that are moving around.
Gameplay-wise, they create a very huge change because they create this jumping path that you can get between the 2 levels on the map from any point.
One of the interesting things that just kind of fell out of this design, and this is not intentional, if you were on the conveyor belt, even though you're moving faster than the motion sensor, if you're standing still, you don't show up. It has like this one thing that we've never had before, which is you can hide and actually end up in a different spot than you were, and the whole time you won't be on the motion sensor.
I wanted to put the ladders back in, but make them slanted so that you didn't have the same horrible problems that you did.
He never expressed that to us.
Yeah, I never expressed that. He would have got shot.
That would have been a problem.
I like it. It's a big island.
The original idea came from the very first.
It's not so close. My house would go on.
4 and 4, that's kind of the sweet spot for that map.
We were looking for a...
Every night I was a born in this world, but given my downing blow, yeah, whenever I'll be different. Wherever you are, I believe it's the lonely. I know.
You take the quick route and run out in the open.
Yeah, but no, wherever you are, I believe in the lonely.
The fastest route is the straight
Right
line
now,
that's running the
there's
gauntlet. So it's this cool because you can see people coming up through the rocks.
There's a contest to go and get the rocket launcher, much like there's a contest to get the sniper rifle.
Making a way for starting fast, starting hard about that. And I've been fun until the end.
It's Gemini. Its origin is in Marathon. In Marathon Infinity, there was a map called Duality. That's the fundamental structure that we took.
Take me back alive.
It's not really a symmetrical or
Don't
asymmetrical
know
map.
why.
It's an
You can
arena
tell
freefall
why.
map.
Don't even know why. You can tell
We wanted
me
it to feel holy, otherworldly. This isn't something for the rest of the Covenant. This
why.
is the Prophet's antechamber.
You always later.
The 2 rooms, the ramps in the lower lobby.
The teleporters that let you rapidly move to another part of the map. The doors seem really mundane, but a door actually lets you play with the person.
That's what this is, corridors. Cool, moody lighting, lots of artfully well-placed weapons, and good combat. So that's the essence of a good game.
Even walking slowly,
I
you can
think
cover the
it
entire
would
map
be
in about 15 seconds. That makes it very difficult
I
to
bet
actually
people
mount a defense.
realize now
Our engine is
once-
designed for a
one
mix
thing
of different weapons that work at different ranges. You can only carry 2.
Very wide.
The reason you pick up 2 plasma rifles is not so you can
Hopefully
squeeze
you're
both
gonna
triggers at the
keep
same
combination.
time. It's so that you can pulse them. Like you can fire one until it burns and then fire the other while the other one's cooling off. Because if you need to reload when you're dual wielding, then you're basically screwed.
I really wanted to have a lot of small maps. Warlock had a characteristic of being 4-way symmetrical.
Radially symmetrical.
I'll be back, come on!
It's designed to be completely equal.
Warlock is based on the original Halo 1 map, Wizard. And for those that played Halo 1 multiplayer, this is going to be like an old friend. They're going to immediately walk into this map and be like, oh, I know what's happening.
I thought it'd be fairly easy to get Warlock up to speed, considering that the geometry already existed.
We had to mark off each base with a different color so that you wouldn't get lost. And it's pretty easy to get lost in a place where every 4 of the corners look identical.
The game is really giving you something that you look at and something that you hear. We have almost 36,000 pieces of audio that went into Halo 2.
Territory control.
There's 64 surround sound voices. And if you're playing multiplayer and you have a big battle going on around you, you are probably more than likely hitting that 60 to 64 voice limit pretty easily.
Lost the lead.
If you look at it and you think it should make sound, we try to make it make sound.
I put some things like there's bats and no bats. So I think they're up in there somewhere.
I'm sure, yeah. I mean, I know that we don't have any, so.
Bats?
No. No bats. Sanctuary is about a battle that takes place on the Delta Halo.
You could envision Delta Temple being in the distance behind the cliff and behind the waterfall.
It should look like a single-player map, but play like a multiplayer map.
It's old Forerunner architecture, supported by some newer Forerunner metal structures.
It's really important to us that people believe that they are real places in our universe. First is just a high-level strategy, just a plan. From there we go to paper design, which is the designer and the artist working together.
It actually is a symmetrical map. Symmetrical is mirrored in some fashion, and it's attempted to try to make things balanced.
A map can feel balanced, but there's several like sniper advantage to one side or the other.
What it was designed for is CTF. There's medium-range weapons like the battle rifle, and the carbine, the SMG, you got a needle. Those are all symmetrically placed to give each team even playing field. Every time they take on one of those weapons or taking on a role, that's kind of the mentality that I take from designing a space is, are there good places for a player to assume those roles and be effective, and are there places for players to fight against that role as well?
Turf. Turf is a medium to small map.
I don't know, they really gave it anything.
Set in Nova Malzo, sort of early in the invasion, before the stuff really starts hitting the fan.
Old Malzo is probably my favorite part in the single player in Halo 2. Seeing certain landmarks from the single player game in the distance, like the bridge, just gives it such a great feel.
It's got lots of cover, lots of very small scale interconnections, more close quarters combat. It's meant for a match between two small teams.
We really wanted to work on a map that really featured a new game type that we had in Halo 2 called Territories. Territories sort of requires a map that is designed for the game.
Territories is the game where the objective is to capture and control the territories.
Territory control.
As you control them, you get time, and you win the game by having the most time.
The more control you have, the more tenuous that control is. As you're controlling a larger area of the map, you have to divide your attention over a much greater space, so then it's easier for the underdog to come in.
Territory lost.
We have a street territory which is being themed as a Marine headquarters. The opposite corner we have a warehouse territory. And then at the third corner we have a scarab.
Although in Halo lingo, aren't they called plots?
No, they're just territories.
In the UI, doesn't it say plots?
Well, it's called 3 plots for the three territories.
Therefore, yes, in Halo.
Am I being too verbose?
This is going to be the easiest map to navigate and learn.
So everyone always wants to do a little bit more than they probably can. We always want to shoot and then come back, put it in, rip it out. This map has probably had the most work done on it of all the maps.
It's insane the detail that's on here.
This is probably my favorite Halo map thus far. It's awesome. I love this map.
I like it. It's a fun map, and I did no work.
As a game developer, you really get to enjoy 2 games. One is the game of creating the systems and the art itself, and then the other one is to actually play test it.
The rest of the staff is working on all these maps. what's the animation team going to be doing?
Part of this process was getting everybody to take on a new challenge and even expand those skills in new ways that they hadn't thought of before. So that was a great opportunity to get a cinematic together.
We looked at the way we combined animation and sound and everything else into the cinematics and Halo 2 and how we can make that process better.
We didn't feel like our pipeline was really well thought out, and we wanted to go through it again and come up with new tools. We were all like, well, let's do a short film.
Status!
I wanted to do something that kind of paralleled what happened in the game. The Marines at the beginning of our city is one of those kind of tangents that you see the beginning of and you see the end of, but you never really hear what happened. The third Pelican, kind of flies by, and then halfway through that level, you see that same Pelican crash on the beach, and you meet up with the Marines that were in it, but you never really found out what happened to them. It felt like a good place to tie in both the beginning and the end actual gameplay.
Just
placing the Master Chief in the scene, and this shot that I'm working on right now is the very first shot.
This shot right here is where the Pelican has just crashed. You'll see phones checking the corpse of O'Brien.
We're actually going to be able to fly the Pelican around in a space and capture 5.1 audio of it and be able to embed that in cinematic in a way that we weren't able to in the game engine.
That's actually me. I'm the one with the plasma, and that's Jeremy over here. And Bill's dead, of course.
The Jackal is a good character.
We killed Bill out pretty quickly.
What do you think? Hollywood?
It is going to be pre-rendered, so it's a little bit different than the cinematics that occur in-game. We're still using the game engine to render it, but since it's not rendering in real time, we're able to do a little, more effects and more lighting stuff.
How everybody is really getting to do the things that they love to do, to work on the things that they love working on, because it was something that we were doing for fun. It was a learning exercise. It was just a lot of really good experience for everybody on the team.
We have a long road ahead of us, I won't lie, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's actually a really fun time to be working here.
I would definitely say this is wet the whistle for...
Now, I don't know playing the limit. That was born to race. That was born to race for fun. I was born in England, UK, and one of the greatest of all time. I believe in you, my love. If I believe in you, when I die again.
Welcome to the DVD surround sound test. Speaker on that side. Speaker on that side. Speaker behind you over there. Speaker behind you over there. Center speaker.
Recon reporting. Hostiles have been neutralized.
Say again? Over.
The drop zone is clear. I repeat, the drop zone is clear.
Understood. Lieutenant, let's get this thing moving.
Hang tight. This may get a little rough.
I want a quick, tight dispersal. If they catch us napping, this operation is as good as over. Sir, yes, sir!
Coming up on the insertion.
God, get that hog rolling as soon as we dust off. I need your team in position ASAP.
I'm all over it.
It's time for my father!
Warthog detached.
50 tough bitch!
What's wrong? Get the hell out of here, Lieutenant.
Good luck.
See you at the rendezvous point.
Me? No. These are my bucks to kill my sister. Like Erica Ravena, she was nothing. What's up, devil?
Hang tight.
I will give you like you are nothing.
Objective in sight. 6 hostiles, 6 vehicles.
Draw off what you can.
You filthy bastard. Time to pay.
Secure. Target infantry.
Pay you.
McChrist,
Dog.
armor.
Dog.
You set him up, I'll knock him down.
Bob. Dog. Bob.
Initiating contact. That did it. Pull back!
Hack! Hack!
Report!
We lost Segura.
Goff, you and McLeese get this entrance clear. The rest of us are going down that hole to find whatever those blue bastards were after.
you have point.
Hang on, Brian.
No movement. No heat. No covenant.
Let them down.
Something ain't right.
We have a problem.
Hold up. Put a socket. What do you have?
All I'm saying is, there's a lot of unlocked doors for something that nobody's supposed to have been in 100,000 years.
Yeah. You got nothing down the rat hole. See anything downside?
Not a damn thing. All clear. Looks like nobody.
Outnumbered. Attempting to disengage. Exit is secure. We're coming in. Hold your position. No way, Sarge. 50 meters and closing. Get the hell out of here. That's it all. Come on, let's move. Freak. You freak. Go. I'm coming.
Cortana told us one of you was on board.
The
But I didn't believe her.
Head of the airborne battalion inbound. Let's get you on board.
You're staying?
Yes. My battle has just begun.